Hi, Gabby here from Ray Studios, and on this video I'm gonna be reviewing the 7artisans 10mm f2.8 fisheye lens. So first, let's do a quick unboxing. Inside the box we have the instruction manual in English and Chinese. And as usual with the new 7artisans premium lenses, we have a really high quality case to take your lens around, made of leather and with a lot of padding to protect the lens. The lens also comes with this plastic bag to protect the lens from moisture and dust. And as you can see, the lens is all metal, including the cap. You have a metal cap, a metal mount, and you can see here how the lens really pops out of, because it's a fisheye lens. This is very common with fisheye lenses. Even so, it's particularly not a very big lens. It is a bit on the heavy side. It is built like a tank. That's probably one of the reasons. We have the aperture ring closer to the mount, and it turns very smoothly with a certain amount of resistance, the way I like, but there are no clicks to it. And we have the focusing that also turns pretty smooth and is very easy to use. Here I'm gonna mount it on my Canon EOS R6 so you get a reference for size. As you can see, this ain't too big, it's not too long, and it does have a good balance. But I gotta say, this is probably 7artisans' heaviest lens I ever tested, and I tested pretty much all of them. So if you are used to 7artisans lenses being compact and light, well, this ain't quite it. That being said, it's not too big. Here you can see it compared to the direct competitor, the TT-Artisan 11mm f2.8. I also, for comparison, I put here the Yongnuo 14mm f2.8 and the Canon 16 to 35mm f4ISL. This lens is fully manual, so you have to dial the focus and the aperture yourself, but because it's a fisheye lens, that is pretty easy. You could set the aperture to somewhere like f4, set the focus to infinite, and you're pretty much ready to go. Everything that is 2 meters or farther with the focus on infinite is gonna be good. Now, if you are new to these manual lenses, fisheye lens is the way to go because it's pretty easy. The lens hood is permanently attached and you cannot take it out, obviously, and you cannot mount filters. You can see how the lens comes out quite a bit and you need to be careful not to scratch it. This particular lens is Canon RF mount, and it also comes available in Nikon Z, Leica T and Sony E. Now let's take a quick look at the picture quality. All the images that I take with this camera turn out to be incredibly sharp, especially at the center. The sharpness is very impressive. Going all the way to the corners, to the very edge of the corners and the edge of the images, and there is a little bit of a decrease on sharpness, but it's still a lot of detail. If you stop it down, that sharpness move all the way to the edges and the corners, and I gotta say, this is probably the sharpest fisheye lens I ever tested by far. It's incredibly sharp. There is almost no chromatic aberration to talk about, so it performs really well in that department as well, which is also very impressive for a fisheye lens. And what is even more impressive, and the thing that really blew me away, is that the lens flare is so well controlled. Here is the thing, ultra wide angle lenses, and especially fisheye lenses, they tend to have very awful lens flare. This lens doesn't seem to have any. I mean, I didn't have enough time to test it out, but all the pictures that I took with this lens, they don't have any lens flare. And another great thing is that when you shoot against bright lights, the contrast really holds up so good, like no other fisheye lens or ultra wide angle that I ever used before. This is just so good. Of course, there is a lot of distortion. It is a fisheye lens, but something that I noticed is that it have less distortion than other fisheye lenses. That really surprised me because it's a 10mm full frame lens. So I gotta say, this could potentially be used as an ultra wide. So if you apply some corrections, maybe a 10–15% crop, you can easily use this as a landscape lens, not just as a fisheye lens. So that's kind of like a, you get more bang for your buck, you get more use out of this lens. So it's definitely a pretty good lens for either landscape, ultra wide, and we can also be used as a fisheye lens to get these dramatic kind of images. Another thing that I noticed is because it's pretty wide and the distortion is not so crazy, you could potentially use it for vlogging or for video. Here is a video sample. This is a vlogging sample with a 7artisans 10mm f2.8, and you can see it's just very wide, so you can see all of me very easily. I'm holding my camera in one arm without really stretching the arm, so my arm is, if I stretch I go much farther, but you can see the arm on the shot, which is not good. So I like to have it like this, and because it's very easy, you focus once and that's it. Pretty much everything is on focus, and it's easy to have two people here. I got Monkey right here on the shot as well.
How's it going, guys?
There you go, we can have Monkey as well. And at the moment I don't have a microphone because I did not prepare a microphone, it's just going out taking some shots. But you can see how wide this is, easy to have two people on the shot. And yeah, I would consider this lens for vlogging, definitely. Basically this lens surprised me because it's just so good. But there is one thing that I need to say that is not so good, and that is vignetting. Even when you stop it down, vignetting is still there. Wide open, the vignetting is on the heavy side. Now, understandably so, this is a 10mm full frame lens. It is quite normal to have vignetting, but I think the vignetting on this particular fisheye lens is a little bit heavier than other fisheye lens. Now, that doesn't bother me too much. You can apply, like I say, a 10% crop, considering that this is 10mm, unlike the Samyang fisheye lens that is 12, and like the TT Artisan that is 11. So when you apply that crop, you end up in the same range, but with a lens that is pretty much better on any other aspect. So this comes highly recommended. I really love it. As a matter of fact, this is probably gonna be going with me everywhere on my backpack. This is gonna make my my holy trinity together with the 35 prime and the 85 prime. So because it's kind of like an ultra wide and fisheye 2-in-1 lens, I really like it, and it's gonna come with me everywhere. If you wanna buy this lens, there are links in the description down below. They're affiliate links, so I get a little kick out of it. You pay the same, so we both win. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. This is Gabby from Ray Studios. I'll catch you up on the next video.